So we're always getting asked, how has targeting HR and just overall outreach changed since COVID? And there's actually been quite a few changes. So the number one thing that happened, obviously, when COVID happened, going back now a few years, was obviously people started getting out of their office. So historically, if you were running cold calling campaigns, the direct line was the absolute best line to have. So whether that was a line with an extension or just the exact direct phone number, those were gold. And at that time, people just weren't calling mobiles as much. There wasn't as much mobile data available. And so what happened during COVID is everybody leaves the office and they go home, at least a lot on the corporate side. And immediately everybody starts sending more emails. I think everybody started sending more emails for a couple different reasons, but I think the main one was panic. Especially early on in COVID, a lot of people didn't know exactly what was going to happen with their contracts, their business, new logos, people were losing budgets, like all of these things were happening at the same time. So you basically get people that start to freak out a little bit. And as you look at like HubSpot had a really good article, and email, the quantity of emails that happened within the first 6 months after COVID, they went up like 2.5x times. So just people started flooding the market with email, which email gets tougher every single day, but especially over the last year or two. I mean, it is getting really, really hard because everybody has their sales cadence tools and they're just blasting out hundreds of templated emails every day. So you take that into effect. You take that everybody's sending more emails, means it's a lot tougher to book meetings over email. You take that people were calling direct phones, the people that actually use the phone, and those went away. And so you have a lot less meetings happening. Now, at the same time, though, all of the big data players started to more regularly get an influx of mobile data. So things like mobile phones, where back in the day, there may only be, in a database, 10% of all of the database they have mobile phones for. Well, now it's more like 40%, 50%, depending on the personas that you're targeting. Like we were able to find way more mobile data than ever before. And so these things actually kind of equaled themselves out. Direct lines became a little bit less important. Mobile data started happening a lot more. More companies, when you're getting hired today than 2 years ago or 3 years ago, give mobile phones versus direct phones and those types of things. And so many people are working from home. So the big thing that happened, if you take all of these things, mobile data got better, directs got worse. Mobile data almost always outperforms directs currently, and it outperforms how directs were performing previously. Dial to connect rates on mobiles are so much better. So the result is emails are a lot harder. If you have a business that's relying on emails, and as we're targeting VPs of HR, talent management, or recruiting, like it doesn't matter which group in HR, if you're depending specifically on only booking meetings off of emails, like you're probably in trouble. Same thing happened on LinkedIn. Over the last couple years, these LinkedIn bots have happened, and it make it almost impossible to have like genuine conversations because everybody's inboxes are just getting hit so hard by these LinkedIn bots. So, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you could really book a lot of meetings over LinkedIn. Today, that is really, really hard. So, every day the prospecting, gets harder. Especially on email and LinkedIn, they're really hard. I think phone, we're in a time where mobiles are readily available. People are using them, and, dial to connect rates are about the same as they were a couple years ago. But they're just, the quality is getting better because of just the availability of mobile phones and how much people are using the mobile phone. So once again, it all just depends what you're doing. You need a multi-channel outreach, but, those inside sales teams and just broad sales teams that were relying on booking a ton of meetings by sending templated emails, we don't see very many of those being very successful. So a lot's changed, not only during COVID, but just there's so much advancement in sales tools and marketing tools specifically for salespeople that's really driving a lot of what's happening in the prospecting world and why it's so hard to book meetings. So it really requires multi-threading. It requires really, really good campaign design, and it also requires great data. Like, you really need good phone data, good email data, and you need to be able to move really, really efficiently through your prospects. So some things stay the same. Some things are always going to change. Things like being able to book meetings over email and being able to book meetings over LinkedIn, I think it gets harder every single day, and I don't see that changing at all. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to always contact us at talentview.co, and hope this is really helpful as you're building and designing programs to find more quality leads.